Depression is a serious and often misunderstood condition, affecting millions of people worldwide. While it's often associated with sadness or withdrawal, depression can manifest in a variety of ways that go beyond the obvious signs. It's important to understand that men, in particular, may experience depression differently from women, sometimes masking their struggles with behaviors or emotions that might not immediately seem connected to sadness. Recognizing the signs of depression in men can be difficult, especially since they might not always outwardly express their emotions. But there are certain behavioral, emotional, and physical indicators that can help shed light on what a man might be going through. Here are 10 signs of a depressed man that you should look out for. One of the most common signs of depression in men is a noticeable withdrawal from social interactions. This might not be immediately obvious because many men tend to be more solitary by nature. However, if a man starts isolating himself more than usual, avoiding friends, family, or social events that he once enjoyed, it could be a sign that he's struggling with his mental health. Depression often leads to a sense of disconnection, where even the people and activities that once brought joy feel overwhelming or exhausting. If you notice that a man who used to be social and engaged is now retreating into himself, it might be a signal that something is wrong. Another common sign is a sudden lack of interest in hobbies or activities that used to bring joy. When a man is depressed, the things that once felt exciting or fulfilling may no longer have the same appeal. This could range from losing interest in sports, video games, or even family activities. It's important to note that this lack of interest is not just about being tired or too busy. Depression can make the simplest of activities feel like a chore, and the man might struggle to find any motivation to engage in things he once loved. This change in behavior can be subtle, but it can be a significant sign of underlying depression. Changes in sleep patterns are also a major red flag when it comes to depression. Some men may experience insomnia, where they struggle to fall asleep or stay asleep throughout the night. On the other hand, some might find themselves sleeping excessively, often as a way to escape from their emotional pain. Both extremes, either sleeping too much or not being able to sleep at all, can be indicators of depression. A man who is suddenly staying in bed for much longer than usual or having trouble getting up in the morning may be battling with feelings of hopelessness and exhaustion. These sleep disturbances are not just about being tired, they are often a way for the mind to cope with overwhelming emotions. Physical symptoms are also commonly associated with depression in men. Depression can manifest as unexplained aches and pains, headaches, or digestive issues that seem to have no physical cause. A man might not immediately connect these physical complaints to his mental state, but they are often linked to depression. The mind and body are closely connected, and when a person is emotionally drained, it can lead to physical manifestations. If a man is constantly complaining of feeling fatigued or experiencing physical discomfort without an obvious cause, it may be worth considering that his depression is affecting his physical health. Another sign that men may exhibit is an increase in irritability or anger. While depression is often associated with sadness, in men, it may take the form of irritability or frustration. Men who are depressed might snap at loved ones, become easily agitated, or show a short temper over things that normally wouldn't bother them. This irritability can be confusing to those around them because it may not seem like a typical symptom of depression. However, when a man feels emotionally overwhelmed, it can lead to frustration that is often expressed as anger. If you notice someone becoming unusually irritable or quick to anger, it may be worth checking in with them to see how they are really feeling. Loss of confidence or self-esteem is another sign of depression that is especially prevalent in men. Depression can lead to feelings of worthlessness, self-doubt, and a negative self-image. A man who was once confident and self-assured might start to doubt his abilities or feel like he's not good enough. This can show up in various ways, such as a decline in work performance, reluctance to pursue career goals, or a diminished sense of self-worth in personal relationships. He may start withdrawing from opportunities or stop trying altogether, not because he doesn't care, but because he feels like his efforts won't matter or won't be successful. This loss of confidence is often a deep and painful experience for men, as societal norms tend to place a lot of emphasis on male success and achievement. Substance abuse is another red flag that may point to depression in men. While not all men who drink excessively or use drugs are depressed, many turn to substances as a way to cope with emotional pain. Alcohol, drugs, and even excessive smoking can temporarily numb the feelings of sadness or hopelessness that come with depression. However, this form of self-medication often leads to a cycle of worsening depression. A man may begin drinking more than usual, using drugs to escape, or turning to unhealthy habits to avoid facing his emotions. If this behavior becomes frequent or intense, it is essential to address it, as substance abuse only exacerbates the underlying depression. Another sign to look out for is drastic changes in weight or eating habits. Depression can lead to either overeating or a loss of appetite, both of which are common symptoms. Some men might start eating excessively as a way to cope with their feelings, using food as a comfort mechanism. Others might lose interest in food altogether, either because they lack the energy to eat or because they simply don't feel the motivation. These changes in eating habits can have a significant impact on a man's physical health and may be an indication that he's struggling emotionally. It's important to be mindful of these changes, as they can be a way that depression manifests itself physically. Finally, one of the most serious signs of depression is suicidal thoughts or self-harm. This is an urgent and critical sign that should never be ignored. Men who are experiencing depression may feel a sense of hopelessness so deep that they begin to contemplate ending their own lives. They might talk about feeling like a burden, express thoughts of not wanting to live, or engage in risky behaviors that could harm themselves. If a man expresses any of these thoughts, it's crucial to take them seriously and provide the necessary support, whether that's reaching out to a mental health professional or getting help immediately. Suicidal thoughts are a serious symptom of depression, and immediate action is needed to ensure safety. Recognizing depression in men can be challenging, as they may not always express their emotions openly. However, by being aware of these signs and offering support, you can help someone who is struggling with their mental health. Encouraging open communication, showing empathy, and seeking professional help are all important steps in helping a man overcome depression. Remember that depression is treatable, and with the right support, recovery is possible. If you or someone you know is showing signs of depression, don't hesitate to seek help. It's essential to understand that depression doesn't look the same for everyone, and each person's experience can be unique. While the signs I've mentioned might be the most common, depression can manifest in a variety of ways, sometimes in ways that are harder to recognize. For instance, some men may continue to go through the motions of daily life, functioning on the outside, but internally, they are struggling with feelings of emptiness or despair. These high-functioning individuals might not exhibit overt signs of depression, but that doesn't mean they aren't suffering. This can make it even more difficult for others to recognize when help is needed. Additionally, it's important to remember that depression is not something that a person can simply snap out of or get over on their own. It is a legitimate medical condition that requires proper treatment and care. Men, particularly, may feel societal pressure to tough it out or man up, leading them to hide their symptoms or avoid seeking help. This cultural expectation can lead to prolonged suffering and even worsening of symptoms over time. It's vital to break down the stigma surrounding mental health, especially when it comes to men, and create an environment where they feel safe to express vulnerability and seek support. One of the key aspects of addressing depression in men is to challenge these societal norms. Encouraging open, honest conversations about mental health and creating spaces where men can talk about their feelings without fear of judgment is crucial. In many cultures, there is still an overwhelming expectation for men to be stoic, independent, and emotionally reserved. These expectations can make it difficult for a man to express how he truly feels, leading to feelings of isolation and loneliness. As a society, we need to shift the narrative to one that values emotional openness, vulnerability, and the understanding that it's okay to ask for help when you need it. If you're someone who suspects that a man in your life is struggling with depression, there are ways you can offer support without forcing him to talk if he's not ready. The most important thing is to be there for him, letting him know that you care and are available whenever he's ready to open up. Sometimes, simply being a non-judgmental listener can make a huge difference. Don't try to fix his problems or offer solutions right away. Sometimes, a person just needs to feel heard and understood. Let him know that you're there to support him through whatever he's going through. However, it's also crucial to be mindful that you're not a replacement for professional help. While being supportive is important, depression often requires the intervention of a trained therapist or counselor. If a man is hesitant to seek professional help, try to encourage him to consider therapy as an option, and offer to assist him in finding a provider or going with him to the first session. For some men, the idea of seeking therapy might seem intimidating or unnecessary, but gently guiding them toward the benefits of professional care can be life-changing. There are also lifestyle changes that can help alleviate some symptoms of depression. While therapy and medications are often necessary for treating depression, certain habits can complement the treatment process and promote overall mental health. For instance, regular exercise has been shown to have significant positive effects on mental health. Exercise can release endorphins, which are the brain's natural mood elevators, and improve sleep, energy levels, and overall well-being. Encouraging a man to take up an activity that he enjoys, whether it's walking, running, or lifting weights, can be a great way to combat feelings of depression and provide a healthy outlet for emotions. Another important factor in combating depression is diet. Depression can have an impact on a person's appetite and eating habits, but consuming a balanced diet rich in nutrients can help improve mood and energy levels. Omega-3 fatty acids, found in foods like fish, and folic acid, found in leafy greens, are especially important for brain health. Similarly, reducing the intake of processed foods, sugar, and alcohol can have positive effects on mental well-being. If a man is struggling with depression, encouraging healthier eating habits could support his recovery in the long term. Social support plays a critical role in overcoming depression. While men might prefer to keep to themselves, having a strong support network of friends and family can provide a buffer against the negative effects of depression. Encouraging social interaction, even in small doses, can be a great way to combat isolation and provide a sense of connection. For example, inviting a man to take part in a casual social activity, such as grabbing coffee or going for a walk, can help him feel less isolated and more connected to the world around him. Even though it might feel like a small gesture, these moments of connection can be a vital part of the healing process. Another avenue that can help a depressed man is mindfulness and meditation. These practices can help manage stress, anxiety, and negative thought patterns that often accompany depression. Encouraging a man to try mindfulness techniques, such as deep breathing exercises or guided meditation, can help him feel more present and less overwhelmed by his emotions. Even just a few minutes of deep breathing each day can help lower stress levels and promote a sense of calm. If he's not familiar with these practices, suggesting free apps or YouTube videos that offer meditation guides can be a gentle introduction. On the more serious side, when depression reaches a critical point, such as the presence of suicidal thoughts, it's crucial that immediate intervention is sought. If you or someone you know is experiencing thoughts of suicide or self-harm, it's vital to reach out for help right away. You can contact a mental health professional, a helpline, or go to the emergency room if necessary. It's important to act quickly, as these thoughts and behaviors can be life-threatening. Remember that depression is treatable, and seeking help can make all the difference. Beyond seeking help, it's also important to practice patience. Recovery from depression can be a long and difficult process. There will be good days and bad days, and progress may not always be linear. For a man dealing with depression, setbacks and challenges can feel discouraging, but they are part of the healing process. It's important to continue offering support and encouragement, while also respecting his journey and acknowledging the effort it takes to manage his mental health. Celebrating small victories along the way, whether it's getting out of bed, making it to therapy, or having a good day, can help keep him motivated and remind him that recovery is possible. There are also other therapeutic techniques that can be incredibly helpful when managing depression. One such approach is mindfulness-based cognitive therapy, MBCT. This is a type of therapy that blends mindfulness practices with traditional cognitive behavioral therapy techniques. The goal is to help individuals become more aware of their thoughts and emotions in a non-judgmental way, without getting caught up in them. This can be especially beneficial for men who may struggle with overwhelming thoughts or emotions that fuel their depression. By practicing mindfulness, men can learn to notice when negative thoughts start to spiral and gently bring themselves back to a place of calm. Similarly, activities like journaling can be powerful tools for managing depression. Writing down thoughts, feelings, and experiences on paper can serve as a way of processing emotions that might otherwise feel difficult to express. Journaling offers a private space to reflect and gain perspective, which can be helpful in reducing stress and identifying patterns in behavior or emotions that might be contributing to depression. For men who are not naturally inclined to talk about their feelings, journaling can be an alternative means of expression, allowing them to confront their emotions in their own time and at their own pace. Another approach to tackling depression involves the power of creative expression. Many men find solace in creative activities such as painting, drawing, music, or even woodworking. These outlets allow them to channel their emotions in a constructive way and gain a sense of accomplishment. Creative expression can also foster a sense of purpose and identity, which might feel lost during periods of depression. If a man has a passion or interest he hasn't pursued in a while, encouraging him to revisit that hobby can help him reconnect with himself and provide a sense of enjoyment that may have been lacking. One aspect of depression that often gets overlooked is how it affects a man's sense of self-worth. Depression can lead to feelings of inadequacy, self-doubt, and a lack of confidence. Men might begin to question their ability to perform in their personal or professional life, leading to more feelings of helplessness. This is where self-compassion becomes important. Teaching men to practice self-compassion, being kind and understanding to themselves, rather than self-critical, can be a crucial step in their healing journey. It involves recognizing that everyone struggles and that it's okay to have bad days. Encouraging self-compassion allows a man to break free from the cycle of self-blame that often accompanies depression. As men work toward recovery, it's also essential to acknowledge the power of physical health in the process. Depression often leads to changes in sleep patterns, appetite, and overall physical health, which can, in turn, affect one's emotional state. Prioritizing a healthy sleep routine, eating nutritious meals, and staying active can have a significant impact on mood regulation. Encouraging a balanced lifestyle can help a man regain a sense of control over his health and well-being, fostering the physical resilience needed to battle depression. Sometimes, the simple act of setting a routine can be an important part of managing depression. When depression takes hold, it's easy to fall into a pattern of disorganization, where even basic tasks feel overwhelming. Encouraging a man to create a daily routine, no matter how small, can help him regain a sense of structure and accomplishment. For example, starting the day with a simple routine, such as getting out of bed at a set time, making the bed, and having breakfast, can help him feel more in control and provide a sense of normalcy, even when everything else feels chaotic. These small steps can eventually lead to bigger improvements over time. On the flip side, depression can also cause a man to experience what is often referred to as decision fatigue. This is when the individual feels overwhelmed by the constant need to make decisions, whether big or small. For men dealing with depression, this fatigue can make even the simplest choices, like what to eat, where to go, or whether to leave the house, seem daunting. Simplifying daily decisions, like meal prepping, establishing a set schedule, or reducing unnecessary choices, can help alleviate some of the stress that comes with decision fatigue. It may seem trivial, but taking the burden off small decisions can help conserve mental energy for bigger tasks. Additionally, it's important to mention that support doesn't always have to come in the form of professional help or therapy. For many men, the support of a close-knit group of friends or family can be incredibly valuable. Social connections provide emotional nourishment that can help combat feelings of loneliness and isolation. However, it's essential that these relationships are built on mutual understanding and respect for each other's boundaries. It's also important to note that the way support is offered should be considerate and sensitive to the individual's needs. A simple, "I'm here for you whenever you need me," can make a huge difference, as it assures the person that support is available, but not forced. Exercise, as mentioned earlier, has numerous benefits for mental health. While it can be hard for someone with depression to find the energy to be active, regular physical activity can release endorphins, which naturally improve mood. Exercise also promotes better sleep, reduces anxiety, and improves overall energy levels, all of which can be important when combating depression. Even light activities such as walking, stretching, or yoga can have a significant positive impact. It's important for men dealing with depression to know that they don't have to engage in intense workouts to reap the benefits. Finding an activity that feels manageable and enjoyable is key. Social activities can also help break the cycle of isolation. While it might seem like the last thing a person with depression wants to do is be around others, social engagement can help uplift their mood. It doesn't need to be a large group activity or an event that feels overwhelming. Even spending time with a close friend or family member in a calm, quiet setting can provide meaningful connection and support. Encourage men who are dealing with depression to participate in small, social events that feel comfortable to them, whether it's a casual dinner, a short outing, or a hobby group. Positive social interactions, even in small doses, can be incredibly restorative. One of the most difficult aspects of dealing with depression is when a man feels like he's failing in every area of his life. Whether it's in relationships, at work, or in personal goals, depression often leads to a feeling of being stuck. It's essential to remind the person that recovery is a process and that setbacks are normal. The key is persistence, taking small, consistent steps forward each day, even when the progress feels slow. It's important to celebrate every milestone, no matter how minor it may seem. Whether it's getting out of bed, attending a therapy session, or simply talking about feelings with a loved one, these steps represent progress on the path toward healing. In this journey of recovery, men must also be aware that some days will be harder than others. The path to healing is rarely a straight line. It's important to be patient with oneself and recognize that setbacks or relapses don't mean failure.